Yeah, and I'm back, y'all. And hey, you guys, we are not back for another brown sugar box unboxing. So, I know you see the title, and yes, it is true. Unfortunately, Izzy and Liv, the brown sugar box, they are not saying goodbye, but they are saying see you later. So, I've been receiving the box over the years, and I decided to make that box part of my channel. So a lot of my subscribers tuned in every month to see me do the unboxing. But unfortunately, my last video, we received notification that they were going to scale back and stop doing the monthly boxes, and they were trying to implement different clubs that you can choose to be in instead of receiving a monthly box. And then they were basically going to just make the monthly box something like a special edition. So instead of receiving it monthly, you would have gotten a special edition box. And we recently have been notified, and she gave us an open 4-page letter, and it was very heartfelt. And I am very sad, but I do understand exactly where she's coming from. I truly understand. And I would never want for anyone to feel or have to live the way that she's been feeling and living in her day-to-day life, because I know that running a business can be very stressful and very overwhelming. No, I do not have experience, but I can imagine. I do not mind reading you guys her letter just so that we can have some type of closure. And I'm just gonna do like a little montage of all of, well, not all, but like a lot of different clips from the Izzy and Liv brown sugar box that I had on my channel, just in case any of the new subscribers. You can either go back to all of my old videos. There is a playlist where you can just watch those videos, or if you don't want to watch the entire video, enjoy the montage of the different ones while I read the open letter. I hope you guys enjoy. And it's not a goodbye or a farewell, it's to see you later. All right? Hi, beautiful. I didn't expect to be writing this kind of letter, but after deep reflection, I know it's time. For 10 years, Izzy and Liv has been more than just a business. It's been a celebration of culture, confidence, and soul. A love letter to Black women everywhere. What started as a spark in 2015 became a movement. Together, we built more than a brand. We created a community where Black women felt seen, valued, celebrated in every product, every design, every message. Then, 2 years later, came the brown sugar box, a blessing that grew into something even bigger than I imagined. For 8 years, that little pink box became a monthly moment of joy, not just for you, but for me too. I poured my heart into curating every piece, making sure you felt the love, intention, and culture packed inside. But here's what I hadn't said out loud. Somewhere along the way, what once filled me up started to quietly drain me. I've been running nonstop for years. And while I've experienced some of the highest highs, the joy, the creativity, the community, I've also faced some of the lowest lows. Vendor drama, warehouse disasters, legal threats, sabotage, betrayals, team issues, and more. I've been fighting battles that only those closest to me ever saw. Through it all, I kept showing up, kept trying to deliver magic while quietly putting out fire after fire, but admittedly neglecting myself in the process. I've carried heavy weights on my shoulders for a while now, and if I'm being honest, I often wore my perseverance like a badge of honor. But for every weight I managed to lift, it seemed another, even heavier one would show up. Still, I persisted. Then came this economy. and the kind of pressure that finally forced me to ask a deeper question. Do I really want to keep going like this? I've been in survival mode for far too long, y'all. At first, I defaulted to my usual MO: pivot, strategize, push through. But the more I planned, the more I realized I was just reworking the same cycle. Still chasing deadlines, still navigating through unpredictable chaos of today's world, still carrying the emotional weight of absorbing feelings, reactions, disappointments, and frustrations while running on empty. Still trying to please everyone, attempting to meet expectations rooted in a different season when costs were lower and the world was different. Expectations that can never quite align with what's sustainable now. What started as passion has become pressure for me. I've held on because I absolutely love this little brand that I built and what it stands for. Because I love our community deeply. Because I saw how much it meant to my customers. I saw how much you looked forward to each delivery, each surprise, each celebration of culture. I understood how powerful it is to feel seen, to feel affirmed, to feel joyfully represented, and I carried that responsibility with my whole heart. Even when it became too much, even when it became harder to sustain, even when I neglected myself in the process. I didn't want to let go of something that meant so much, not just to me, but to you. And I didn't want to take away what I knew so many of you cherished, especially when there was nothing else quite like us. I worked hard to stay affordable, to stay accessible, to give everything I could. But as the world shifted, the weight became heavier, while expectations stayed the same, or in some ways grew. I've had to ask myself, am I holding on to just hold on? That's not how I want to lead. That's not how I want to live. That's not how I want to serve. So today, I'm making the hardest but most honest decisions I've ever had to make. After 10 years, I'm pressing pause on Izzy and Liv. I'm choosing to honor what is instead of exhausting myself chasing what was. I'm choosing alignment over survival mode, peace over pressure, purpose over performance. And I'll be honest, I'm still working through it all. The fear, the sadness, the waves of grief that come with letting go of something I've poured my heart and soul into for so long. There are moments when I question, is this the right choice? When the weight of it feels too heavy to carry. But there's the beautiful part. I can also feel a shift beginning. Fog is starting to lift. And while creativity has been a core part of me, I'm feeling and untangle itself from the stress, the pressure, and the constant need to react. Clarity comes in waves, and with it, a sense of freedom, reminding me why I choose this part in the first place. I'm reminded that Izzy and Liv was never meant to be a hustle machine. It's always been meant to be a beacon, a celebration, a source of joy for you, but also for me. Those two things shouldn't be mutually exclusive. So while this is the end of a chapter, it's not the end for me. This decision has given me the clarity to reconnect with and tap deeper into why and what started it all. It's helping me remember that my gift don't need to be boxed, shipped, or rushed out the door to be valuable. If this letter leaves you with anything, I hope it's this. It's okay to pause. It's okay to let go. Holding on isn't always strength. Sometimes strength is also knowing when to release. I don't have all the answers right now, but I know this. I'm not done creating. I'm not done celebrating us. I'm giving what's next the space it deserves to bloom. No pressure, just alignment, intention, and joy leading the way. If this little brand I created has ever made you feel seen, valued, or inspired, I know that this isn't goodbye for me. It's a reset. Stay close because I'll be back with some things beautiful, purposeful, and true to everything we've always stood for. Until then, keep shining and know that the best chapters are still ahead for all of us. Thank you for the 10 unforgettable years. Thank you for allowing Izzy and Liv and me to be part of your life, your joy, and your story. With all my love always, Nicole.